Peace and love, everybody out there. All praise and glory belongs to the Almighty Creator of the heavens and the earth. As we begin the next chapter of this end time story, as we enter the fall season, we see things are moving fast. Last Friday, Putin gave a mighty speech as he announced the annexation of 4 regions in Ukraine. The Western media won't show his speech because he is exposing Babylon America as colonizers, slave masters, and Satan worshippers. Now that Russia has annexed Ukraine, meaning those areas are considered Russian territory forever, Russia said they will defend these newly acquired land using nukes if necessary if they are attacked. And Ukraine said, well, we will attack them anyway and get those lands back. As a result of the annexation, Ukraine has announced that they want to join the NATO with a fast-track membership. If Ukraine joins NATO, then get ready for the nukes to fire. Zelensky wants to take the world down with him if his nation goes down. He wants to drag the entire world into this conflict, and the world is following him into this global nuclear destruction like a Pied Piper. And Joe Biden, who is currently possessed by a frog-looking alien demonic spirit, is desperate for World War III to begin as he sends more long-range missiles into Ukraine to attack Russia. Joe Biden, who works for the Illuminati Freemason, their goal is to reduce the population using World War III. The kings of the earth is being possessed by these frog-looking demons to gather them together to the battle of the great day of God Almighty, according to Revelation 16 verses 13 to 14. Also, Revelation 16:12, it says, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." Right now, as we speak, the Euphrates River is drying up. The kings of the east will be prepared to march over. China, North Korea, Iran are the kings of the east. Also, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that one of the signs of the final hour is that the Euphrates River will dry up and disclose a mountain of gold, and many men will fight for this mountain of gold under the Euphrates River. He said there will be a great war to seize the gold, and out of 100 people, 99 will die trying to get this gold, and only one will get the gold. He said whoever is present at the time should not take any of it. And today we see that the Euphrates River is drying up. There are more and more Iraqis starting to find gold inside the Euphrates River. Even in Turkey, there is huge reserves of gold being found in the dried out part of the Euphrates River. After the nukes drop, there will be armies of millions of men, probably Chinese soldiers, the kings of the east, coming to get that gold. Also, Babylon attacked Russia's Nord Stream pipeline, blowing it up. It will never be replaced. This pipeline supplies gas to Germany. Without this pipeline, there will be no gas to Germany this winter. Winter is coming.
It's a pipeline that stretches about 750 miles from Russia to Germany. And the Biden administration insists if Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward. U.S. officials believe the pipeline could be used to weaponize energy when gas starts to flow through it to customers in Europe.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it. There will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it. We will bring an end to it.
The CERN portal is open, releasing demonic frequency into the earth. On the same day Putin announced annexation of eastern Ukraine, Elon Musk introduced Optimus, the humanoid robot, on AI Day, the Tesla robot. The beast has the power to give life to the statue. Ultron is coming. The Terminator is coming. Skynet is here, which is Starlink. After World War III, there will be a new world order, one ruler, a digital cashless society under the rulership of one global controlled computer, artificial intelligence. You will need a mark in your right hand or forehead in order to buy or sell in this matrix society. For those of us who refuse to live in the matrix, who refuse to take the mark, we will have to hide and live off grid in the mountains and wilderness. The mountains and caves is the best bunker and fortress. I want y'all to go ahead and Google the closest mountain range to your city, and you and your family meet up and make a way to these mountains. Yes, you will be walking as the cars will be fried from the EMP attacks. America has paved the way for the return of Nimrod, the return of Pharaoh, Ra, Horus, the return of the Antichrist. Billions of survivors will be deceived after World War III. During Putin's mighty speech, he has announced that America and Britain are Satanists and colonizers pushing the transformer gender perversion agenda. The hat is out the bag. America, Britain, and Western Europe has been publicly exposed and prosecuted on global stage. The evil system of devil worshippers, Satanists, colonizers who want to push sodomy and gender perversion across the world onto the youth with their Hollywood movie magic and their human demon rappers and musical witches and harlots has been exposed. Western society displays the sin of Sodom, which is pride. Every June, the month Sodom was destroyed in June. And today, the sick, twisted Western society is heavily involved in pushing and promoting all the sins and perversion like her mother, ancient Babylon. So the great nation of the North has risen to put an end to Babylon. The arrows are aimed at America and Europe, and especially Belgium. Belgium is home to the evil, wicked King Leopold, who killed 15 million Africans in Congo and colonized the Congo with the worst murder and slaughter of Africans out of any other European conqueror nations. And today, Belgium is the headquarters of NATO. Belgium is one of the most evil, murderous colonizer nations to exist in history. So Russia will take down London, Brussels, Belgium, DC, NYC, and the other decision-making centers. All the evil, conqueror, murderous European nations. The Most High will use Russia to bring an end to their satanic rule of Earth. Let's cover some key talking points that Putin said in his annexation speech that the Western media doesn't want you to hear. He called out America and Britain as colonizers. He said the Western elites are what they were and have remained so, colonizers. They discriminate, divide peoples into the first and other grades. We have never accepted and will never accept such political nationalism and racism. Putin goes on to address the sodomy and transformer agenda that America is pushing. He says, do we want to have here in our country in Russia parent number 1, number 2, number 3 instead of mom and dad? Have they gone mad out there? Do we really want to see perversions that lead to degradation and extinction to be imposed on children in our schools from the primary grades, for it to be drilled into them that there are various opposed genders besides women and men, and offered the chance to undergo sex change operations? Do we want all this for our country and our children? For us, all this is unacceptable. We have a different future, our own future. Putin also said, the collapse of Western dominance that has begun is irreversible. And I repeat again, it will not be the same as before. Putin also said, we must protect our great-grandchildren from the enslavement of America, from the monstrous experiments that are aimed at crippling their minds and souls. Putin went on to hold America accountable for inventing the nuclear weapons and using them on Japan twice during the Hiroshima and Nagasaki attacks, saying that America set the precedent of using nukes. So basically, he will attack America with her own nukes that she invented and she used onto the world on Japan. Putin called out America for developing biological weapons and doing experiments on living people, then got the nerve to call it noble medical research, such as the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. Putin calls out America for outright Satanism and calls out America for reverse religion. He's basically calling America the Antichrist nation that's against religion. Putin even quoted Jesus Christ in his speech saying, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus Christ, denouncing false prophets, says, "By their fruits you shall know them." And these poisonous fruits are already obvious to the people, not only in our country, in all countries, including many in the Western nations. Putin puts America on trial for her colonizing since the Middle Ages. He says, it is worth reminding the West that it began its colonial policy back in the Middle Ages and then followed the global slave trade, the genocide of the Indian tribes in America, the plunder of India, Africa, the wars of England and France against China, as a result of which it was forced to open its ports for trade opium. What they did was put entire nations on drugs, purposefully exterminated entire ethnic groups for the sake of land and resources, stage a real hunt for people like animals. Putin goes on to say, and we are proud that in the 20th century, it was our country that led an anti-colonial movement, which opened up opportunities for many peoples of the world to develop in order to reduce poverty and inequality, to overcome hunger and disease. Putin also said, paraphrasing, I emphasize, the reason that the Western elite hated Russia for centuries is because Russia didn't allow themselves to be robbed during the period of colonial conquest. We forced the Europeans to trade by mutual benefit. Russia strengthened itself on the great moral values of Orthodox Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and Buddhism. Putin also made a clear distinction between white people and called the Western the Anglo-Saxons. I tell people all the time, there's different kinds of white folks. All of them is not the same. The Americans and British and Western Europeans descend from the evil, murderous Anglo-Saxons. The Russians come from an entirely different tribe. Putin goes on to call America and the West hypocrites, deceivers, liars, bullies, using blackmail and threats and sanctions and intimidation to control other nations into submission. Putin says America has nothing to offer the world except colonizing, robberies, and racketeering. So Putin is finally calling out America. He's saying what the rest of the colored world, the black and brown world, has been saying for the past 400 plus years. Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, and Malcolm X will be proud at his speech, and they will agree with him wholeheartedly. Now, a white man is saying it, and he has made his final decision in the matter. Babylon, America must be brought down with nuclear fire. So if you want to go ahead and check out the full speech, I will leave the link in the description and comments below. You see, Russia was never a part of the colonizers of Europe. Russia didn't partake in invading the entire world and robbing Africa and enslaving black people and killing native Indians and aboriginals. Russia didn't partake in a whitewashing of biblical figures. When you read the book called Russian Icons, you see countless paintings and images of black biblical characters before the great whitewashing that took place during the Renaissance. Western Europe spent billions of dollars to hide the true identity of biblical characters, while Russia openly displays their true color. Russia is one of the only European nations that didn't push Transformers, Baphomet, and sodomy. Russia still practices Orthodox Christianity, and Russia has the largest population of Muslims. So Russia has been designated as the nation to lead the charge in taking down the army of Satan, taking down the daughter of Babylon. And every day we see it getting closer and closer, as every day we see a new episode to this end time story. We see new events happening leading up to the inevitable event when that first nuke is dropped, when the flying Chernobyl is launched, the falling Wormwood star. Russia has a missile called the flying Chernobyl. These missiles will strike from the North Pole where Russia has them positioned. So all the northern cities of America, get ready to flee if you survive the initial blast. Alaska, Seattle, Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, New York, Boston, Toronto, Ontario, Buffalo. And before the nukes come, get ready for the EMP attacks, when electricity will no longer exist in Babylon, when America will sit in darkness, when the cyber attacks take out the internet and the cell phone grid. Isaiah 47:5 says, "Sit in silence and go into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for you shall no longer be called the lady of the kingdoms. I was angry with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into your hand, and you show them no mercy. On the elderly, you lay your yoke very heavily. You said, I will reign forever as queen of the world. You did not reflect on your actions or think about their consequences. Now listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom, living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the only one and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children. But these two things shall come to you in a moment and one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon you in their fullness despite all your witchcraft and magic. Imagine being at work when an EMP strikes and you can't drive home. You can't call your loved ones. You will have to walk all the way from work. Imagine if it's nighttime and you have to walk home in complete darkness. Many of us will never see our siblings again because everybody will be scattered and there is no way to call them to see where they are at or if they are even okay. Many of us will never see our children again. What if your child is at school when shit hit the fan and you gotta walk to their school to find them if they are even still there? You can't call the school. You will have to walk to their school to find them. Many of us will never see our parents again. Who is going to walk miles and miles to every relative house to make sure they are okay? Without cell phones and power, Americans will go crazy. We are one button away from all hell breaking loose. Out of chaos comes order. So everybody should have a serious talk with their loved ones and their family and come up with a game plan for when shh hits the fan and an EMP comes. Everybody should have a meetup location. Tell your family and your loved ones you have 48 hours to come to a specified area before we head out as a group to a safer location away from the purging, rioting, looting cities. If a person doesn't show up to a specified area in 48 hours, then you have to assume that they are either dead or whatever reason they couldn't make it, but you gotta go. Just imagine when the power gets cut off. You won't even know what's going on the other side of the world anymore. There will be no more news, no internet. You won't know if American military responded to the EMP attacks and launched strikes against China and Russia. You won't know if the big cities such as New York City, DC, and Los Angeles were nuked. You won't know if America was invaded by Russia and Chinese troops. Americans will be too busy killing each other and looting. Racist people will be too busy killing blacks. You will be in utter darkness, cut off from the rest of the world, waiting to see if your city is next to get nuked. Look at Florida and Hurricane Ian. So many homes were flooded. So much was washed away and destroyed. That's why I say have a bug out bag so you can easily evacuate. Having a bug out bag is more important than having stocked up pantry or a shed full of survival gear and canned foods, because a flood, a hurricane, earthquake, tornado, or a missile could come and destroy all of your stocked up, canned up foods and supplies and destroy your emergency generator. Crowds of looters and robbers can pillage and ransack your homestead. Thousands of people will be scavenging for food and supplies, going to house with the mobs looking for food and supplies. The assignment is to stay prepared to evacuate your homes. Yes, stock up your shelves and stock up your pantry and your sheds for the time being with canned food and water. We never know what situation we will be in initially, but ultimately the priority, the mindset that you need to have is prepare to evacuate your safe homes and make sure that you have basic needs to make your evacuation more convenient. You need these 9 categories in your bug out bags. 1, faith, prayer, scriptures. 2, water drinking capabilities. 3, fire making capabilities. 4, self-defense capabilities. 5, first aid and medication capabilities. 6, shelter capabilities. 7, tools capabilities. And 8, light capabilities. For lights, meaning you want a rechargeable headlamp so you can see at nighttime through the dark. A headlamp is the best option because you can rear it on your head and keep your hands free to carry other items instead while you are moving through the woods or exploring empty warehouses, factories, and empty schools to set up camp in. These headlamps, you can buy them for $15, $20 on Amazon. You want a rechargeable high beam flashlight and some candles. With anything rechargeable, you want to make sure that you have solar power banks, plural, to keep your devices charged up, and a Faraday bag to keep your electronics in to protect them from the initial EMP blast. Also, make sure that you have 1 week of non-perishable foods in your bag, so that will give you enough time to find a better source of food as you move out to cities, whether it's MREs, meals ready to eat, or you bring along with you 7 cans of meat of your choice, chicken, turkey, tuna. Obviously, you will eat 1 can per day. Have a jar of flour or a vacuum sealed bag of flour so you can add water to it and make quick flatbread over some hot oil on your campfire. Have bags of beans, rice, and lentils, and a portable pots and pans for cooking. All of that is just basic survival. You could add other things such as hygiene, extra socks, extra drawers, and panties to stay clean. If you're Muslim, have your prayer rug packed with you. Make sure that you have hiking boots or hiking shoes. You don't want to walk through the woods with regular sneakers. You want some waterproof, windproof, snowproof hiking boots. Being prepared for worst case scenario is just a responsible thing to do. You do not want to be that person who survives and now you don't have anything. Now you got to depend on somebody else that is prepared, and you got to hope that they share with you because you thought nothing bad would ever happen to this nation. You thought this nation would never collapse. You thought God would never punish America for her wickedness. Now you stuck with no supplies because you didn't take the effort to buy a single flashlight. You didn't even buy 2 cans of food. You didn't think to have emergency fire making capabilities. Whether it's floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, or World War III, you want to be prepared. There's always a natural disaster waiting to destroy your homes and your stockpile. Look what Florida is going through. And these storms will continue to get worse every year. God will continue to send fanners to Babylon according to Jeremiah 51. I will raise up against Babylon a destroying wind. The same hurricanes that followed the slave ships' path from Africa to Southern America, all of the slaves the colonizers threw over the ships, all of the tears and the blood in the oceans, the hurricanes are coming every year like clockwork to whoop on Southern America, the slave master states. Jeremiah 51:2 says, "And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of doom they shall be against her all around." Fanners could also mean the destroying winds of the nuclear explosion, the shock wave that will spread over the land. Verse 3 goes on to say, "Against her let the archer bend his bow and lift himself up against her in his armor. Do not spare her young men, utterly destroy all her army." Not only will America be destroyed by war, America will be destroyed by powerful hurricanes. Who knows what kind of monster storms is coming in 2023 and 2024, especially after the X marks the spot eclipse in 2024. Never put all your trust and faith in emergency responders, police, and FEMA to save you. Don't wait for them. There will be situations where they can't rescue you and you will have to grind it out on your own. We do not have much time left. 2023 is coming. If you don't have anything in your mini Noah's Ark, then let's get busy. Every paycheck, knock off at least one category until you complete all 8 categories. Faith, water, fire, self-defense, first aid, shelter, tools, light, food, and hiking shoes. The holidays is coming up. Don't spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on these holidays when you don't have basic survival needs entering 2023. Have everything already packed, ready to go in your car, by your door, by your bed, wherever you choose. So when it's time to go, you can grab and go, and you don't have to run around your house like a chicken without your head looking for everything, wasting valuable escape time. The great collapse is coming. I don't know when, but let's be ready for whenever it does happen. I don't care if it happens 5 years from now. Let's prepare for it now. It could be 5 months from now. It could be 5 weeks from now. Only God Almighty knows best, and He's giving us warnings and signs letting us know it's getting closer and closer. So let's be smart and take advantage of this mercy and spend these last days praying, fasting, being nice and kind. Stop being filled with anger and hate. Be kind to your neighbors and give in charity more. Give to the poor, give to the needy, give to the poor, give to the needy, give to the poor, give to the needy. Find a charity site, a hunger relief site that you trust, and make it a constant habit, a consistent habit of donating money out of each paycheck, whether it's $5 or $50, to buying food and water for hungry families and orphans in third world countries. When you see a homeless man at the gas station, give him some change. Don't ignore the homeless. Don't turn your arrogant nose up to the homeless. They are there as a test. They could be angels in disguise as a man to see if you fed the poor, so they could testify on Judgment Day when these angels report to the Most High your actions and your deeds. If we are generous to the poor and to our family and the refugees and the travelers, then the Creator will be generous to us in our times of need, and we will all need Him soon, and we will all be begging for His mercy and His protection and His help soon. In the Quran, Surah 2, Ayat 177, it says, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Righteousness is not that you turn your faces towards the east or the west, but righteousness is one who believes in Allah, the last day, the angels, the book, and the prophets, and gives wealth in spite of love for it to relatives, orphans, the needy, the traveler, those who ask for help, and for freeing slaves. Who establish prayer and give zakat, which is charity to the poor, those who fulfill their promise when they promise and are patient in poverty and hardship and during battle. Those are the ones who have been true, and it is those who are righteous. When your kids die or you can't find them again throughout the chaos, when your spouse die or when your parents die and your friends die, you will be tested spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Will you break down and curse God and hate God? Will you lose your sanity? Will you become an evil maniac and go on a killing spree? Or will you be patient during these hardships and humble yourself and submit to the will of God Almighty and accept His decree and become closer to Him? He will separate the real from the fake, the believers from the hypocrites. He will see who truly worships Him and loves Him in these trials and tribulations. That's why faith, prayer, and holy scriptures is the first and priority thing you need to have in these end days. Everything else that's materialistic means nothing if your iman, your faith, your trust, your belief, your patience in the Creator is not there. I love y'all. Stay prayed up. Stay bowed down. I want y'all to go ahead and press like and subscribe. And let's get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers. And press that bell notification button so you don't miss out on my future videos. I'm out. Peace. And I want y'all to go ahead and press like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on my future videos, man. I'm out. Stay prayed up. Welcome to Mo Truth TV. Thank you for listening. Go ahead and join the prayer army and join my other channel, which is called Angel Time.